Hello friend, welcome to Marine Engineering Hub. This is your narrator, Chief Engineer Ravi Gupta. Today we'll talk about what are the reasons for which the suspension of inspection can take place in a PSC. In today's video we'll talk that what are the reasons based on which a ship can be detained, and when a PSC officer come on board, what he can see and he can detain a ship. After that, we will see what are the forms, what are different code in a PSC based on which you will give a remark, and what are the form A and form B in a PSC, and what things are mentioned in a form A and form B, and for how much period amount of time you need to keep this form A and form B, and whom to see the form A and form B. So this video is about the detention. In today's video we will learn what happened when a ship is detained. Friend, if you want to know basic about the PSC, then you can watch the part 1 in which I have explained what is PSC, what is no more failure treatment, and what is the type of inspection such as initial inspection, more detailed inspection, and other thing. But if you want to know what are the clear ground based on which a ship can be subjected to more detailed inspection, you can watch the part 2. All the part 1 and part 2 you can find in the description box. Friend, those who are watching the video first time of Marine Engineering Hub, I want to tell you Marine Engineering is a platform which make video like this which will be beneficial for examination and for your oral purpose. So please do subscribe and please do share a video with your friend. Friend, those who are giving MU class exam 1, class 4, class 2, I request you please join the channel. You can find lot of video which are yet to be released which will be beneficial for examination purpose. You can find the join link in the description box. So let's start today's video of PSC suspension of inspection. So if a PSC officer come on board, he can suspend the inspection if he find certain clear ground based on which it clearly indicate that the ship can be detained. So if in examination they ask you what do you mean by suspension of inspection, it means that the overall condition of a ship, equipment and the crew are such that the ship appear to be substandard, and therefore based on which the PSC officer suspend the inspection. And when the PSC inspector is suspending the inspection, it doesn't mean that your inspection is over. It means that you have to take all the necessary steps in order to rectify all the deficiency which you have find out till now. After you have rectified the deficiency, you have to call him again. He will come on board and then he will start the inspection again to check whether any remaining deficiency is there or not. Now, when you are given a suspension of inspection, the post state authority will inform your flag state, will inform your classification society, and will inform the other party without any delay, so that they can come to rescue and they can take the necessary action so that you can come out of this danger in a quick time. So basically, if anybody asks you what happened in a suspension of inspection, so basically when your inspection is suspended, it means that the PSC officer which have come on board have found certain detainable deficiency which need to be rectified, and after the rectification he will again carry out the inspection. Whenever you have been suspended, in that case your port state control will inform all the responsible parties such as flag state, classification society, and other member, those who are attached to the ship such as owner, charterers, so that they can also come to know about the situation. Now, based on which criteria your ship can be detained, let's see. The first thing is that the PSC officer, if find certain serious deficiency, then he can detain a ship. So the first deficiency is the valid documentation. If the important documentation such as tonnage certificate, cargo safety equipment certificate, radio certificate, safety certificate, or stability information, and the other important documents are not present on board, in that case your ship may be detained. If your ship is having minimum safe manning document missing or not present on board, or they are not following the minimum safe manning document, in that case your ship will be detained. After that, if a PSC officer come on board and he asks the captain or the other second officer or third officer, and they are unable to communicate about the navigation properly with the PSC officer, and he may find that the crew which are on board are not able to navigate the ship properly. In that case, he can detain a ship. After that, same goes for the engine room. If we come to the engine room and if we ask the chief engineer, second engineer, and the other engineers about the engine starting procedure or the machinery starting procedure or the other thing, and they are unfamiliar with that, and if we think that they are unsafe to run the ship, in that case he can detain a ship. So these situations are very severe. Why he is detaining the ship? He is detaining the ship because the crew on board are not familiar with the equipment which they are operating, and they don't understand the operation. So they can hamper the ship safety, as well as they can hamper the environment which can be affected because of collision or grounding. So for that reason, he is detaining the ship. After that, now this document, this IOP document and other document are very important document. If it's not missing, then you may be detained. After that, suppose he go to the CO2 room and he asks the chief engineer that how the CO2 will be operated, and he is unable to demonstrate the procedure. In that case, ship may be detained, because the chief engineer will be the in charge who will activate the CO2 under the supervision or command of a master. So if you go to the second engineer and ask how to start the emergency fire pump, and if he is unable to do, then the ship may be detained. So basically the thing is that if the key member officer are not able to respond properly and not able to demonstrate how they will fight the fire effectively, which can hamper ship safety, in that case ship may be detained. Or if you find out that the gang release mechanism or the hose are cracked and the bottle look empty and the inspection of a CO2 is due, this is also a detainable deficiency. Now the seventh things is the prevention of pollution of environment. Suppose the OWS on the ship is not working and you have not taken any dispensation, or the sewage treatment plant you don't have, and you are just directly letting off the sewage directly into the water. In that case, your ship may be detained. The if suppose you don't know how to abandon the ship, or you don't know what are your duty in case of abandoning the ship, or as a chief officer you don't know how to lower a lifeboat, so these can also lead to a detention of a ship. If you don't know about the stability or how to look at the stability booklet, then also the ship can be detained. Now if your ship look in such a bad condition that it may hamper the watertight integrity, and the hull can get ruptured anytime, or hull can is deteriorated in such a condition that it may be hamper or subjected to grounding, or it can damage the environment, in that case your ship may be detained. And the last point is that communication in a distress situation. Now suppose if your officer on board are not able to communicate the distress signal, or not able to cancel the distress signal, or not able to initiate a distress signal, in that case your ship may be detained. So these are the very important points which clearly indicate the thing. And the 11th point is very important, that suppose you are living in an unhygienic situation, so in that case your ship may be detained. Now if a PSC officer come on board, he gives sometime the code based on which we have to rectify the problem. Suppose he come and give you code 17. It means that whatever the deficiency he have given, you have to rectify it before departure. If you don't rectify before departure, you will not able to go, means your ship will not be released until you rectify the deficiency. Code 15 will be given if the deficiency is not such severe and you can get some time as a period so that you can rectify departure. In that case, code 15 will be given. Suppose you will be given a code 15 in Rotterdam port and you are going to Amsterdam. In that case, the Paris MU can come to the Amsterdam to check the code 15 which is given in last port is rectified or not. It means that code 15 is the type of a code which allow you to sail from port A to port B, but while sailing from port A to port B you have to rectify that problem. Code 16 is given when you have time period given over 14 days. Means if they have given you a time period of 14 days, in that case code 16 will be given. Code 18 will be given for a period of 3 months. Means the deficiency is not a such severe, but you need to rectify it in a 3-month period. Code 30 is the most dangerous deficiency, that is a detainable deficiency, which we have talked about. This need to be rectified immediately, otherwise your ship will be fined and you cannot go. And now mode is that some mode deficiencies that such as code 40 next port inform, code 55 flag set consulted, rectify detainable deficiency at next port 50, and code 70 RO inform. So these are the deficiency code which you should know. Basically, in most important is that you should know what is code 17, code 15, code 16, code 30, and also code 99. Means if it is not falling under any code, then you will be given code 99. Now when the deficiency is rectified, you will be given code 10. It means that what will be written first, it will be written 17. Suppose they have given you code 17. After you have rectified deficiency, they will written slash 10. It means it was code 17, but before departure you have rectified, so it has been reduced to code 10. It means that deficiency has been rectified. So like this they will write. Now let's see what is the form A and form B of a PSC. Now whenever a PSC come on board, they give you form A and form B. This form A and form B need to be maintained for a period of at least 2 years, so that whenever the other PSC is coming, they can consult that what deficiency it has been given, so they can also check that part to ensure that same deficiency doesn't exist. After that, the form A is basically consisting of all the six particular and all the certificates is been marked, whether like suppose whether if the CP is having cargo ship certificate, then they will mark yes, date of issue and all the thing they will make. But if any of these document is missing, your ship will be detained, because these are the important document, and if any of them missing, your ship will be detained. Now suppose you have been given some deficiency, so they will write serial number 1, 2, 3, and they will write the deficiency in detail, and after that they will write the code 17 they will write, and after that they will write the action taken, that is what code they have given. After that, what happened when your problem is rectified, they will write slash 10. It means they have been given 17, after that 10. Now suppose you have given code 15, so next port PSC will come and they will check, and then they will change to 10. So this is how, means the form B is the form where the ship deficiency which they have been given a PSC officer will be written. So if a PSC officer coming on board and has not given you a single deficiency, it work very good for your company. So friend, in today's video we have learned that what are the reasons based on which your ship can be detained, what do you mean by suspension of inspection, and what are form A and form B. Let's do a summarization of the whole thing. So basically, if anybody asks you what do you mean suspension of inspection, suspension of inspection is basically when a PSC officer come on board and see the overall condition of ship, crew and its equipment in such a condition that it is not well, then he will detain the ship and will suspend the inspection. The inspection will resume only when the necessary step is taken, along with all the necessary step taken, so that all the deficiency which he have pointed out is been rectified, and meanwhile he will inform all the relevant authority. Now after that, when the ship can be detained, if you don't have a valid document, if your ship crew is not able to navigate the ship properly, If your engine crew is not able to run the engine properly, not able to do operations, propulsion and steering for the forthcoming voyage, then your ship can be detained. If your important document is missing or falsified, if your fire safety equipment are not up to the mark, or your crew is not properly trained and not know how to operate it, if your pollution prevention equipment is not working properly, or it is working but it is not now in operation and you have not taken any dispensation, or the principal equipment is in fact missing, if your ship abandoned ship procedure is not known to ship what action to be taken, or the chief officer don't know how to lower the lifeboat, or your any other crew member don't know his duty of abandoned ship, if you're not able to maintain the adequate stability, if you don't know the stability booklet information how to check, if you are not maintaining the watertight integrity of a ship, and your ship structure hull condition is so bad that it can lead to a grounding collision and it can lead to the hull penetration, if your crew is not able to maintain, know how to raise a distress signal, or don't know how to receive a distress signal, you will be given detention. If you are not maintaining a proper hygienic condition on board, then you will be given a detention. And after that, you will also be detained if you, after detention, you will be given certain code. The code for detention is basically code 30. Normally the most PSC give code 17, code 10, and code 16 and code 15. These are all the code which are basically given in a PSC inspection. Now basically there's two form A and form B. The form A is basically in which all the document is been checked and is consisting of a 6 particular and need to be kept for a period of a 2 year time. And form B basically where the deficiency is been written, what deficiency is given and what are the code, and when the rectified it has been slashed 10, if not rectified then it will be kept empty. Basically this information need to be kept for a period of 2 years, so that the other PSC when coming on board they will come and they will also check, and if the deficiency persists, which for last PSC they will able to more detailed inspection. Now for ISM related deficiency, the code are given basically 18 and 30. Means basically if you have having ISM deficiency, then sometime they will give you a code 18 in which they will give a time period of 3 months, and this 3-month period of time you need to rectify, and after that you have to carry out the inspection again. So friend, I hope